How's it, Godzilla fans, Kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla1964 coming back to you with another figure review. This time we will be reviewing the Bandai Movie Monster Series Showa Gamera figure from the Frankenstein Conquers the World movie, not the Destroyer Monsters Baragon. I'll explain why in the paint, actually, as to why that is. But just jumping right into detail for this guy. The detail on this guy is phenomenal. I just want to get the face out of the way. I mean, look at that pug, bulldog, puppy dog face. How can anybody not love that face? But long story short, the detail on the face turned out very nicely. The nose turned out very well. The little puppy dog wrinkles, snout thing kind of works very nicely for this guy, actually, compared to the original Bandai Baragon figure. The bumps on his head turn out very nice, and it's actually a detail I did not realize, but it's cool that they added on this one. The sculpted teeth turn out very nice. The eye horn turn out very nice as well. Then there's some very nice ear detail over here, the ear folds, which I really like. The back of the ear is a little bare, but that's totally not a problem. The horns coming down are very nicely done here. They're just kind of the smooth horn look to it. Then you come down Baragon's back, where it has all of his very nicely sculpted ridges. The ridges have a little bit of detail on them, but just a little bit, not like overly crazy. Then on the side of Baragon's body, you got Baragon's bumps, the titular bumps going down the side of his body, on his arms, on his legs. There's a lot more on his legs towards the bottom over here, which are really interesting. And I'm kind of wondering what the purpose of these bumps are for. Or if they're just there. And it's not really explained, but it's still a really cool detail for Bandai to add on. There's no bumps on the tail, but the ridge does continue down to the tail, which turned out very, very nice. Very good. And you got some more of the ridge detail. Coming to the front of Baragon is where a lot of the magic happens. You see, you got the nice suit detail over here. And I say suit detail because if you look really closely, there is actually little holes in Baragon's neck, which is not from Baragon getting shanked a bunch of times. This is actually the holes for the suit actor would look out for, because for a lot of the suits, the suit actor would be up to the guy's neck. So yeah, that's what the holes are for. But there's a lot of nice bump detail over here too. And then there's also a lot of nice chest detail, where it has the square chest detail over here for the good old Baragon. And then you also have his fingers, which are done very nicely, and his fingernails are done very nicely as well for Baragon over here. And the toe fingernails too, which are actually a lot longer than these ones, which I thought were a neat detail for Bandai to include as well. This guy's just fun of a lot of detail surprises, which I'm loving. Moving on to paint for Baragon, I think that the paint turned out very nice, actually. There's some parts where I'm probably going to repaint, like this part over here, to make him, to add a little darker reddish brown, which is shown in the movie, compared to this regular kind of light brown, gray brown that they have going on for him. But the paint that they do have for him turned out amazing. The paint for his horn is really nice, this yellow white bone white color. The paint for his eyes are very nice, and then you're going to find the same paint for his teeth as the paint for the horn. I love that they painted the inside of his mouth red, and it's not just the dark brown that you're going to see. It really adds to the it just makes the teeth pop, pretty much. Then you have the painted fingernails and the painted toenails, which turn out very nice. And then, this was a little surprising for me. If you look here, there's a bit of paint on the back of Baragon's ridges, which kind of look a little reddish brown, which the camera's not doing this justice, but you can kind of see it. I'm going to accentuate it when I give him my own good old-fashioned paint job. But yeah, there's a little bit of reddish brown paint that's just very lightly brushed onto this, and it stops at the base of the tail. But yeah, that's a very nice paint detail that I think Bandai added on. So yeah, I am really liking this guy. And moving on articulation for Baragon here, he has a total of 5 points. 5 points this time, guys. He has his 2 arms move, his 2 legs move, his head doesn't move, which I'm totally fine with that, even though that would have been great. And I once substituted his head movement for the movement that we did get, which was the tail, because I mean, I'm glad they have turtle articulation, but you're not going to be able to get that whole thing where his tail's just articulating in a very awkward place versus past figures. Any past figures where the tail could be articulated where the tail could help it, it would curve more this way instead of like this. So yeah, I would have traded the tail articulation for the head articulation, because he kind of acts like a puppy dog in the shows that he goes in, and he moves his head a lot. So that would have been a cool thing to have been able to do with this figure, but I'm totally fine with it. Moving on to size comparison for this guy, I do not have the original monster that he fights in the movie, which is Baragon, but I do have 2 of Baragon's offspring, or I guess technical offspring, which are the 2 Gargantuas from YMSF. So we have Sanda and Gyra from YMSF, which I think they look a little big because, I mean, Baragon is really tall compared to Frankenstein. Even though these guys, I mean, we've never seen Baragon go up against these guys, but I'm assuming these guys are about the same height as Frankenstein, so Baragon would have been like about here, I think. Even though the sizing is still, I think it works just fine for play value wise, because I mean, realistically speaking, if we do this, like the whole thing where it works, where Frankenstein is, you know, doing the whole wrestler move on Baragon, it works, the sizing. So me personally, I don't really have any complaints about how tall it is, but speaking movie accuracy wise, Baragon's just a bit short. But if we pull in Godzilla here, Baragon's the perfect height, because Godzilla is, you know, always taller than these, you know, his companions, and Baragon is, I'd say, the perfect height for Godzilla. Now, also speaking, I wish that they made the Gorosaurus about Baragon's height, because it would have been just perfect, and they made Gorosaurus really short this time around. I'm not sure why. And I know I didn't really have a problem with it before, but getting Baragon in hand and having Gorosaurus too, I have a bit of a problem with it, even though I got to see how the Anguirus figure turns out. But that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother time. Let's continue with the review. Do I recommend you guys get this figure? Another 100% yes from Bandai Movie Monster Series Showa line, because along with the Ebira, the detail's fantastic, the paint is above and beyond, because I didn't think Bandai was going to do anything here, but they did, and it looks amazing. Even if it's just a small thing, it still looks amazing. But the articulation is also on point with this guy. I would say he's even a little better than Ebira. The only downfall for this guy would be that we don't have a Frankenstein go along with him. So if we get a Frankenstein, that totally justifies this Baragon figure. Because if not, we should have gotten a Baragon figure that was kind of in the Destroy All Monsters fashion. Where, I mean, like, yeah. Even though I'm pretty sure Bandai Movie Monster Series is going to eventually come out with the Frankenstein figure. Because they did come out with Daimajin from Dai, which is the same company that made Gamera. So I'm just saying, Bandai, eventually, I hope you guys get to Frankenstein, and I hope you guys eventually get to Sanda and Gyra too, because that would be cool. And none of that Bandai Premium stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Movie Monster Series Bandai. So, yeah. But this will do it for the review for this cute little puppy dog today, guys. And while we're closing, I'll show you a picture of my dogs on the screen below. But if you guys liked the video today, please do be sure to hit the like button down below. If you guys think that I missed anything, or if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down below. And if you guys like what you see on the channel, please do be sure to subscribe. And stay tuned for the new upcoming Bandai Movie Monster Series figures that will be coming out at the end of this month and early next month. We're going to be having the Bandai Movie Monster Series Fire Rodan from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, the Heisei Fire Rodan, coming out at the very end of this month on the 28th or the 27th. And then we're going to be having the Bandai Movie Monster Series Monster X. Finally, we have a 6-inch Monster X coming out early next month on the 3rd. So stay tuned for those figure reviews, guys. And until next time, peace.